Good evening, everyone. Welcome to GradeUp's MBA Prep channel. So, in this video, I'm going to just discuss about certain DI shortcuts. Right. So, and these can be applicable only when you have some calculation-based DI. And if we talk about general examinations, right, apart from CAT, most of the examinations will have calculation-intensive DI, right? So, CAT maybe one or two set you might get calculation wise, but otherwise it's logical DI. So these are more relevant for the examinations where there are options to play with, right? So basically it is those where you can just you can calculate things, and it is basically for calculation based data interpretation, right? So most of the examinations have calculation based data interpretation. So let us look at these some shortcuts through which you can do the calculations quite fast as compared to others. Okay, so good evening, Vicky, Abhinav. Welcome to this session, right? So before I begin, just an announcement that GradeUp is offering 55% off, and today is the last day to avail this offer. And from tomorrow, the prices are going to rise. Okay, and these are the courses we have at GradeUp, and if you wish to enroll with us, you can enroll in these courses in case you are preparing for CAT or other MBA entrance examinations. Okay, all right, so let's start with the things that I have for today. Right, so I'm going to talk about a few pointers that are quite handful. Right, first is approximating fractions. Okay, so many a times, maybe not in CAT, but definitely in other MBA entrance examinations, and like if you are targeting other examinations, the ones wherein you get certain approximate values and you have to approximate certain values, right? So how to approximate values? So suppose you have to find 789 by 3252, right? Let's say you have certain value. Now you have to find that what is that value. So there are 4 steps that you need to follow, and if you follow these, you are going to get the answer in a very less time, right? So first step, as it says, that you need to round off the denominator to a calculation friendly number, right? So it is 789 by 3252. Now I do not know how to divide by 3252, but I definitely know how can I divide by 3. I can divide by 3. Everyone can divide by 3. So make it, you have to approximate it to 3000. Then how to scale down, right? You have to find the percentage change in the denominator. So what is the change in the denominator? You subtracted 252 from it, isn't it? You subtracted 252. Now see how much will be 252 of this number. Approximate integer. Can you say that what percent will be 252? See, for 30 is 1%, right? 1% is 30, 8% is 240, right? This number is slightly more than 3000. So you can say rough 8%. Mota value you can say 8%, right? Apply the same in the numerator, right? 8% of 789 would be, take it 800. 800 ka 8% is 64, right? Subtract 64, what do you get? 725, right? Divide 725 by 3, what do you get? You get the digits 241, right? You do not have to worry about where to put decimal, where to have zeros and all, right? You get digits 241, right? So you will get close to 0.24. So that will be the approximate answer. See, the options will be this close, but still you get the right answer. Let us take another example. Let's take from a graph. Now you must be wondering that you have a quant question. Okay, let's take from a graph, right? Suppose you got this question in the examination, right? Now the question is, in 2017, the GDP of B was what percent of the GDP of A? Suppose the question asks, in the GDP of B, what was what percent of the GDP of A? Now the thing is, like if it is the case of CAT, you use your calculator, right? But in other examinations, you do not have a calculator, and people would often skip such questions, right? People would skip these questions. they would say 86.9, 88.7, 89.8 close options. How to calculate that, right? People often skip such questions. So let us see that how we can do it in a very smart way, right? As I said that we will use the techniques that we saw previously, right? So let us use that technique. So what was the first step? First step is you have to change the denominator to a calculation friendly number, right? So let us change the denominator to a calculation friendly number. See, you cannot divide by, see what you have to do is what percent of GDP of A? A's GDP is 5150, it is 4570, right? You have to find 4570 upon 5150, right? Now I cannot divide by 5150, right? What I can do is I can make it 5000. Let me write it here, that would be better. So 4570 upon 5150. I can definitely divide by 5, isn't it? So how much did I subtract? I subtracted 150 from the denominator. Now 1% is 50. It is approximately 3%. See, it is approximate. You do not have to count 3.1 hoga, 3.2 hoga. It is very close to 3%. Even if it is 2.9, it is less than 3%. We know, but very close to 3%, right? Approximately. Subtract 3% from numerator also. ठीक है? Numerator का 1% कितना है? 45. 45 into 3, 135. Or rough, you can subtract 140 also, right? You can subtract 140 also. Rough estimate, right? 45 into 3, 135. थोड़ा ज़्यादा आएगा. 140 you subtract. What do you get? You get 4430, right? Divide 4430 by 5. What do you get? You will get the digits 886. You'll get the digits 886. So your answer is 88.7%. See, you don't need a calculator to do this. Do you? You can do these calculations, basic calculations, right? You have to multiply by 3, right? You have to find 3%, right? Multiplication by 3, 45 into 3, 135, you can calculate. We subtracted slightly more. We subtracted 140 and we got the answer 88.7. Now if you calculate using a calculator, maybe you will get even precise answer, right? But approximately our answer is correct. Okay. All right. So let us look at one more, like same graph. In 2016, the GDP of A was what percent more than the GDP of B? So calculate this thing. Let's calculate this value using the same rule. And let's see that if we are getting a close answer, very close answer. Okay, so please calculate. So the values are given to you 15.1, 14.6, 15.7, 16.2. By looking at the options, it appears to be that these are close options, isn't it? The options appear to be close. But if you apply that thing that we just discussed, you will realize that you will get the exact answer. And within few seconds. And if you practice this thing, like do in some, take some cases, take some random numbers, find these things, find approximate fractions, you will master it, and in the examination you will realize that these questions are quite quickly doable. Okay, so please calculate this. Right, so let's calculate this value and tell me what will be the answer in this case. Which of the 4 options is correct? So follow that 4-step method. First of all, you find the calculation friendly denominator. And then do the things. So what will you get? Can you find it in a very, very less time? This should not take more than 30 seconds to solve. Right? This should not take more than 30 seconds to solve. We will see that these things can be solved very fast. So let us see this. So let us revisit. Let's do the rule again. right? So GDP of A was what percent more than GDP of B? So GDP of B was 4160 and GDP of A is how much more? 4790 minus 4160, that is 630, right? 630 more. So what I have to find? I have to find 630 upon 4160. So what will I do? I can divide by 4. I can divide by 4. So what I say that it is 160 less, right? 1% is 40. It is 4%. See, you do not have to argue. No, this is 3.8, 3.8. Just take it 4%. Take 4% of this also. 4% of this will be 1% is 6.3, 25, right? So let's subtract 25. When you subtract 25, what do you get? You get 605. Divide 605 by 4. So 15 and then one more. So 15.1%. Right? Now these were round off numbers. Even if these were not round off numbers, you would get more or less the same value. Now maybe 4160 and 630 you might have crossed the zeros, right? But what if it was somewhere like 628? Now people fear these numbers, right? If you get 628 by 4157, now people would think that no, this is a difficult thing, right? So that is the same thing. Make it 4000. This we know is 4%. Now these even people would cut and do something, right? But when you get such kind of numbers, you frighten. You think that okay, ये तो round of number भी नहीं है. How can we calculate? So use this 4%. Now 4% again, like you will calculate approximately 25, right? So you will again get 603 by 4000. That you will get 15.1%, close to 15.1%, right? So you can calculate the exact answer. You should get very close to this, right? They won't go close to 2 or 3 places of decimal. They will be like 15.1, 15.5. So you will get like close to 1 or 2 places of decimal. Your answer will be correct. Okay, so that is one way to answer the questions that are based on approximations. Okay, isn't it a cool thing that you learned today? Right, so if you learned it, if you like this, please do like the session. Okay, next important thing is which we know but we do not use is last digit and divisibility rules. Okay, all right, so let us see this. Suppose this is a Venn diagram. I have not given you the questions, right? Suppose this is a Venn diagram, and in this it is said that a player who plays one sport, so these are the people who play different sports. A player who plays one sport has to pay 3000. For 2 sports, the player has to play 5000, and for 3 sports, the person has to play 7000. You have to tell that what is the total money connected from all the players of the academy, right? So there are these many players play in the academy. You have to tell the total fees collected by these players, right? You have to tell the total fees collected from the players. Now again, what will happen? People will take time to calculate this, right? It will take time to calculate, make these calculations, but we will see that how can these things be done very fast. Now in non-CAT exams, right? Non-CAT, everything will be calculation. Mostly it will be calculation based. So there you need quite speed. So this you can do like in IFT and all those. These are very, very helpful things. Even in CAT, maybe one set you get a calculation base. So apply these things. So these examinations test your smartness, right? They see that how smart you are in solving questions, right? Can you solve them in a lesser possible time? Now these are the number of players playing different sports. Okay, you have to tell that how much is the total monthly fee collected. So for those who do not know how to read a Venn diagram, these are the players that play only one sport, right? These people play 2 sports. and this is the set of players that play all three sport. Right now what people would do is they would take, okay, one wala is 117, ठीक है, two sports is 31 plus 2 12 43, and 3 sports is 20. Right now what people would do is they would multiply by 3000 5000 7000, right, 3000 5000 then 7000, they will get some answer and then they will add up. Right, the first thing which I hate is writing too many zeros. Right, people say that बहुत टाइम लगता है क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने में, नोट करने में. राइट, I always advise people that ignore zeros. Right, ignore zeros. Why? Because see, every number has 3000, every number has 3 zeros which is in 1000. Right, 3000 5000 7000, answers are also in 1000. So if you ignore zeros, whatever answer you get, that will be in thousands. Correct. So first thing is to ignore zeros. So remember this thing, I did not mention that, but always ignore zeros and decimals in the examination, because options will be in the same range. It will not be like some option is in lakhs, some is in thousands. All are in thousands. Like 7 lakh 6000, ऐसा तो नहीं कि 706 then 5 zeros, 706 and 4 zeros. So all have 3 zeros. So do not worry about the zeros. Right, that saves a lot of time. Now suppose in an examination you do 10 questions wherein you note 3 zeros each, that is 30 zeros. Right, 30 zeros, or I mean you need to save time in as many possible ways as you can. Now see this, 7 into 3 the last digit will be 1, 3 into 5 the last digit will be 5, 0 into 7 the last digit will be 0, last digit is 6. So this is my answer. I will not multiply, I will just use the last digit. We know this concept of last digit, but do we use that? No, we don't. Right, people generally do not use that. Make this a habit and you will realize that you will start solving questions faster. Not only DI but also in quant. We generally do not take this as a habit. Right, we know that property, that last digit is depending on this, but see the options. Right, if all options have last digits different, then you know that this is a question that in which you do not have to do any calculation. You just have to notice the last digit. Right, so it is applicable. So there is a disclaimer also. It is applicable in questions where the last digits are different. And there are questions. Right, there will be many questions in which the last digits will be different. So you do not need to do the calculations. You just need to take the last digit. Right. Okay. Now let us say, suppose you have to find the total revenue for 4 months. Right, so it says that the product sold and average revenue per user. Right, so see this, if your academics are poor, not to worry about that. Right, see, IIMs are not the only institute. Target other institutes, non-IIMs. Right, even if your academics are bad, there are certain institutes that do not pay much attention to academics. Right, so try to get the maximum score in the examinations. Right, so how will you find? I mean, what people would do, they will multiply this and this, they will multiply this and this, they will multiply this and this, they will multiply this and this. Average revenue per user. Right, so you sold like 680 products, and average revenue from per actually it should be per product. Right, it should be per product. Take it per product. Right, user is a ambiguous term. Right? Take it per product. So basically what you have to do is you have to multiply these, right, these values, and then just add them. And you have to multiply these and add them. B. Okay. Okay, we are getting B. Interesting. Okay, let me tell you how can we do this. Sometimes see, last digit is one thing, right? Last digit is one factor, right? Last digit is one factor. What you can do is, see, you remove two zeros from all calculations, right? You remove two zeros from all calculations. One way is last digit, right? 6830 last digit is 0, 6025 last digit 0, 4035 last digit 0, 2 into 7 last digit 4, right? 4. So this is the only answer, right? One is last digit. Another way, another cool thing is, which I mean, you have to be vigilant, right? Right, which you have to be vigilant is, see, all these numbers are, what are all these numbers? What are all these numbers? Did you notice something in this? Did you notice something in these numbers? So I'll tell you what to notice. This is 30, 60, 48, 27. All are multiples of 3. All are multiples of 3, right? So sometimes notice these things also. All are multiples of 3, right? So your answer should be a multiple of 3. Now I'm giving a disclaimer that this might not help always, right? But this is the first thing that strikes us, right? So I mean, that is one thing that you that one of the things that that should strike you is, like, so 18 is the sum of digits, right? 20 is the sum of digits, right? 17 is the sum of digits. 14, 9, 17 is the sum of digits. 3 of the options are not multiples of 3. I'm not saying that it will be 100% proof, right? It is not 100% proof, but yes, many a times these things help, right? So check for these hygiene factors. If you are able to get it, right, maybe you can answer this question very, very fast, right? And if it is taking, like, if it is taking time, like if you feel that no, that is not like more than one option, sir, then you have other things also, like last digit and all. So try for those hygiene factors rather than doing all the calculations all the way around, right? So try for those hygiene factors. Okay. All right. So this was one more thing that, I mean, that should be aware of. These are certain things that you can apply while answering questions. While why to avoid how to avoid calculations and do these things fast. Okay. Now, use of percentages and ratios. So I'll give you one like one question, and then you will feel like, wow, what you will feel blessed with that factor, right? Okay, so it says that this gives the total population of 4 cities, and it says total population is 270 lakhs. Okay, all right. Now, one thing you remember in pie charts is, use this total value only for final calculation. Okay, use this total value only for final calculation. Okay, so let us see this. Now we will see one very, very wonderful thing, right? Now you have to tell the total number of males is how much percent of the total number of females. Now this question says the total number of males is how much percent of the total number of females. Now people would say that it will take at least 4 or 5 minutes to calculate everything and tell the percentage, isn't it? Can someone do it in within 1 minute? degree to percentage multiply by 5 by t. No, this is in degree, not in degrees. This is in percentage only. This is in percentage only. These values are in percentages only. 15%, 30%, 35%, 20%. Now this is some advanced trick. You won't be able to understand it instantly, but pay attention when I tell that. Total ratio in all cities 1:1. No. No. Never add those ratios. Never add those ratios. See, population is different, right? Population is different. Suppose I say there is a state which has 60 lakh population. Male ratio female is 3:2, right? If I say there is a state with 30 lakh population, male ratio female is 2:3. Will you say that the total number of males is same? No. Calculate this separately. That will be 60% 36 and 40% 12. So 48 lakh will be the males and 42 will be 42 will be females. No, you cannot do that. Don't add that way. Population is different for different states. Can you answer this question in 1 minute? Right? Even if you are very good at calculation, you would at least take 3 minutes to find the values and do that, right? Otherwise, it will take more than 5 minutes for generally for people, and they will not attempt such a question in the examination. Isn't it? People will not attempt such a question in the examination, right? Now we'll see a trick using which you can answer this question within 1 minute, right? I'm guaranteeing you that you can answer this within 1 minute, okay? First of all, male ratio for female is 4:5, right? So what does it mean, right? I hope you know the ratio with respect to total. You know the ratio with respect to total, right? So male ratio female is 4/5. So male ratio total will be 4/9, right? 4x 5x, so total is 9x. So 4/9. So male will be 4/9 of this. Male will be 5/9 of this. Male will be 8/15 of this. And male will be 7/15 of this. So what do you get? 60/9, that is 20/3. 20/3% of what? 20/3% of total 270 lakh. I am not calculating the number of males. Okay. This you will get as 3 times 50/3. 50/3% of total population. Okay. This you will get as 56/3. Okay. And this you will get 140 4/3, that is 28/3. 28/3% of what? Of total population, right? So just add these four. 70 plus 84, 154. So male की population है 154/3% of T, whatever is the total population. I don't care, right? So what will be the female population? This is male population. Female population be 146/3% because total is 100, right? 154 and 146. Now it is asking that male is how much percent of female? So it is asking 154 is what percent of 146, right? 146 will be 100%. You have extra 8 by 146, so that is 5 point something, so 105%. See, we were able to calculate this fast. Otherwise, what would a normal person do? Either a person would calculate the population of each city and then each male and all, right? And then female also people would calculate and then take the ratio. But we just use ratios and percentages to find the answer, right? So have a very good understanding of ratio and percentages, right? If you have a very good understanding of ratios and percentages, right, and you can calculate these things very fast. So build your concepts in ratios and percentages, very important. You didn't get it? Okay. So this is male as percentage of male ratio T. So male ratio T means 4 by 9 of 15% will be males. 4 by 9 of 15%. What do you get? 20 by 3%. Right? 20 by 3%. 20 by 3% of what? Of this. Right? Do not calculate 20 by 3% of this. This is what? 50 by 3%. 50 by 3% of what? This. Why 50 by 3%? Because males are 5 by 9. 5 by 9. Right? Okay. So then we just added all these. What do we get? 154 by 3%. Right? Males constitute 154 by 3% of total. Correct? What will female be? Total is 100%, right? Total is 100%. So 100 minus 154 by 3 कितना होगा? 146 by 3. So female will be 146 by 3. So we have to find male and female, like male as a percentage of females, right? Suppose male are 154 and female are 146. So you have to find this to this percentage, right? You have to find the ratio of this percentages, right? So 146 will be 100%. 8 is extra, right? 8 upon this will be approximately 5%. 140 का 5% 7 होगा ना, 146 का थोड़ा 7 से ज़्यादा होगा. So this is 5 point something percent. Definitely it not be 108%, right? 146 का 8% तो नहीं होगा 8. It is 5 point something. So 105% it is asking approximately. Right? Yes, 5% more means 105%. So 100% is total. 5% more means 105%. Okay? Like this. Isn't it a very cool way to do this thing? Right? So make yourself very good with percentages, ratios, understand them well, and you will find that DI is, the calculation based DI is nothing. Right? You can do these questions in very, very fast speed, right? All right. Now let us see some smart use of options. Okay, let us see a case of smart use of options. Okay, so this was some time long back ago. CAT had this question, right? Somewhere in late 90s or 2000, right? So it said that you have to read this data and tell the you have to solve this, right? So what it says is, this gives figures for 5 different years. It shows software, domestics and export, hardware, domestic and exports, peripherals, domestic, exports, training, maintenance, networking and others, and total this thing, your total size of IT industry during for these 5 years. Okay, for these 5 years they have given the size of IT industry, right? So they've asked a question. The total annual exports lay between 35 and 40% of the total annual business in the years. Now what people will do? Either they skip these questions, or if they calculate, they will calculate for every year. Right? People will either skip those questions or they will calculate for every year. Right? So let us see one thing. So for what they've asked, the total annual exports lay between 35 and 40%, right? Between 35 and 40%. So you do not have to worry whether it is 35.4%, 37%, 38%. Rough estimate you have to tell, right? Rough estimate. And total annual business. This is the total business. What is the total export? This plus this plus this. Okay. So let us find the total exports. So I am doing very rough calculation. I am taking it at 490 and 180. Okay. 670, very rough calculation. 730 and 40, 770. Okay. 1080 or 300, 1380 very rough calculations. 201, 220, right? 1970, 2650 and 2670. Right? I'm just taking round off numbers because I know that, right? I know that these are not going to impact my answers. Okay, so I do not worry that digit to digit answer is not required. So you need to be particular, like where there is digit to digit answer required, focus on last digit. Where approximate answers are required, focus on approximations. Okay. Now what we will do is, now we've got these values, correct? Now to tell between 35 and 40%. Now if you see the first option, first year, right? Let us say 94, 95. This is 2000, this is 670, right? Less than 35%. Sure? Because 35% of 2000 is 700. ठीक है, 2000 का 35% कितना होगा? 700 होगा. 2041 का तो 700 से भी ज्यादा होगा. It will be even more than 700, right? So this is definitely less than 35. So 1994 is not possible, right? Now if you look at the options, ठीक है, we generally what we do is, लोग करते क्या? लोग they calculate for all 5 years and then answer. No, look at this. 94, 95 is present in option A and option D. So these two cannot be the answers. Okay, you can eliminate these two options. अब बच गए दो option. Now see 1996 is common in both. Okay, and you know this is the right answer. I mean one of these is the right answer, right? Now do not calculate for 96 and 97. That is just a waste of time because that is going to be the answer. That has to be the answer. So why to calculate for 96 and 97, right? So just calculate for one of them. Either calculate 97, 98 or calculate 98, 99, whichever you feel like. Okay? So let us say I calculate 97 and 98. Okay? ये कितना है? 5000, ये 1970. Right? I take 5000, 1970. So 5000 का 40% कितना होगा? 2000. 35% कितना होगा? 1500. Right? Approximate कर रहे हैं. ये 1970 है, ये बीच में आ रहा है, right? It will be greater than 35% but less than 40%. 35 से 40% की रेंज में आएगा. Will it come in 35 to 40? Yes, it will come in the range of 35 to 40. So this is my answer and I will check this option. So instead of calculating for 5 years, right, I just calculated for 2 years. That too rough calculation and I got the answer. Okay, so Athish and saying Twinkle are saying C. C is not there. अच्छा 98, 99. So ये तो आसानी से 40% से ऊपर लग रहा है ना. 60, 2600, 40. It is clearly above 40%. I could have checked for 98, 99. I could have checked for C also. ये तो clearly 40 से ऊपर है ना. 60 and 2670. 40% will be what? 2400. Something 2400 XX is 2600 something, clearly above 40%. So that is not the answer. So we do not have to calculate for all years. We just calculated for 2 years and got the answer. Okay. So this is another thing, that if something like you get that like you can do in lesser time, you should do that. Right. So cracking examinations, see, one thing is that knowing things, right? All people prepare. I mean, serious aspirants, they prepare well, right? They know formulae, they know things and all. But what people lack is smartness in solving questions, right? So that is one thing, if you can develop, that gives you an upper hand. Of course, knowledge is important, right? You should know things. But if you know these smart ways, definitely you can do better than others. Maybe a person who has more knowledge would take more time because he or she uses some conventional methods. If you use some smart methods, you will be better off than others. Okay, so cool method, isn't it? So did you enjoy this video? Please don't forget to like this video and share this video with your friends and subscribe to our channel, right? So we keep coming up with some great videos for MBA preparation, right? For all subjects, all sections, all examinations, right? So please do subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos on MBA preparation. Okay. Alright, so these are our mentors at GradeUp, in case you want to prepare for CAT or other MBA entrance examinations. These are our teachers. This is our team who are all exam experts. Okay, and we are offering this discount. This is the last year, like less than 2 hours left, just 80 minutes probably. So like in case you are still thinking of it, right, it's now or never, otherwise the prices are going to shoot up after this. Okay, all right, so I hope you enjoyed today's video, isn't it? You must have learned something, right? So some cool things, how to solve questions fast, right? Some tricks, some hygiene factors that if you keep in mind, then definitely you can solve questions much faster. It is not only about calculation speed, it is also about using some smart ways. Okay, all right, so thank you guys for watching this video. Please don't forget to like the video. Have a great day ahead. Good night.